Good morning. Good morning. I just had some takeaway yesterday, but the thing is, I'm a bit conflicted with the whole. I think if you've been on my TikTok, you know. If you've been on my TikTok, I did mention that I'm not really about the exposure lifestyle, but nah. I, and it's not even funny, yeah. But I'm at that stage where I feel like I have to say my ignore the hair in the back. I've been trying to do an install, but I feel like I have to say my side of my own story from this whole, not this year, but like from 2024 to now. Because it's getting out of hand. If it's not even getting, it's already out of hand. It's already too much. And the thing is, yeah, the people that you people will say, oh, they're the good guys, or they're, you know, they're not necessarily involved. They're involved. And I'm not mentioning names right now. Like, you just figure out, because I've said it before, like, I think end of 2024, I did a lot of replies to Gigi's part of the exposure, etc. So obviously there's this girl who just came out with her own part of the exposure, and I really felt so bad for her because, yeah, she was in tears. But I just feel like this whole prophetic movement is now become a sex cult. And this is the thing why I'm just against church and when people just talk about church, because there's so many diabolical things that happen, and I'm just like, God, is this what you wanted for the church? Is this what you wanted for your people? For women to be taken advantage of just for them to receive little things here and there. Like, it's just made me question a lot of things, and I've tried to keep quiet because mine is not as, it's not like in the physical sense. Do you get what I mean? But the things that I've experienced and witnessed, I have tried to actually speak to Lovi and Java about it, because I'm just like, excuse me, do you get what I mean? And if what I've experienced is not even physical, yeah, imagine what the other women have gone through where they've experienced that stuff in the physical. Yeah, like it's terrible. It's terrible. And then it makes us lose hope in men. If we're all trying to go to church to find, I mean, I'm not, but like if we're trying to go to church, or women trying to go to church to like find a godly husband, a God-fearing man, to go and be SA'd by your spiritual fathers and leaders, and then they just brush it under the rug and say, well, You were the glue. The glue? The glue. Man, the way that guy even worded it about you were the glue to all of us, it's like, that just, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. So if if EJ had said he was gonna go, yeah, who would have been the glue then? But then it makes me question, like, this is what do you know what? Yeah, me and EJ, you people, I don't know what you see. You be like, oh no, one person I can say that to see. Don't let that quietness fool you. Don't let that fake naivety fool you. Why do you need to? Do you know? Because there's stories of people that have been set up. I'm not saying he's that bad. There are people that have been set up here. Some guy would say, I'm not going, so that they can just put one yeah girl there, one mumu to just take your place. Or really and truly, he could just be quite, what's the word? You know those people that their spirits just, when something is not right, they just they, like, is it intuitive? Is it discerning? When their gut or their spirit tells them not to do something, they don't do it. He could genuinely be like that, because I'm kind of like that. If there's a place where my body will not agree to go, I will not go. So he could genuinely, because the thing is, we can say he's a good guy, but sometimes you have to question, because you just have to, you can't just judge and take one side of the story. What if he knew and say, because when he saw the girl, why didn't he say, oh girl, why are you doing there? Or why didn't he say, oh hi? Was he that gobsmacked that there was one girl there? I mean, it's not shocking to see a girl around different men, although it shouldn't be a pattern. It just depends on how the girl is. Like, you can be the only woman around men and nothing happens. Do you get me? It just depends on the respect. That sounds bad too. It just depends on how they view you. They could just see you as a sister and just be like, you know what? They could just see you as a sister and just really care about you. It just depends on also the a woman's aura. Do you get me? Of course, like every time I come for these exposures, I always have questions for the victims. Like, why didn't you question? Why is there no woman at least sleeping in my hotel? Because she seems quite naive. She seems quite, is it fragile? She seems quite, is it timid? I don't know the word exactly. Not necessarily timid, but just, she's the type of girl that needs another girl around her to make sure that they're safe, type of thing. Because if she goes on her own, she seems like the type that would just possibly be taken advantage of. Did you get what I mean? There are certain places where I've gone and it's just been just me and Mandem. But because of the people that know me, the people that I know, it wasn't an issue. Do you get what I mean? But then in the church sometimes, because a lot of things are pushed under the rug, that's why with churches I'm just like a bit, because it seems that a lot of things people get away with because people end up turning to God in prayer. They forget to report certain things. They're told to forgive. And I feel like forgiving is a manipulation tactic. Like, even what, how is Passion asking her to, are you gonna forgive me beforehand, before doing what he did? It's a manipulation tactic, so that you just have a, it's anyway. And then you start questioning in your head, was I wrong, was I right? Do you know? Whereas in the world, there's already, the law. Do you get what I mean? You know your rights. So if somebody sleeps with you and you didn't want it, you know exactly what to do. Report to the police, go and get your swab tests, whatever, whatever. There's already steps, and then you go about your day, you go about your life. But in the church, because there's just this thing, and this is how I feel like this is how the Catholic ministry got away with a lot of madness. Do you get what I mean? It ends up being a vicious cycle where you just end up depending on deliverance after the same leaders have put you through a whole load. Then you go to the same leaders for deliverance, and then they'll all know your business because you're all in the same ministries. And it seems that all these ministries are connected. So they all know your business. They all mark you. That girl, we can easily take advantage of her, because that guy, we can easily take his money. I'm not saying it's wrong to give. Do you get what I mean? Like, this is the hard part about church, because I've seen people who have given their all, yeah, and they had their faith, and then they got back, whatever they were praying for, whatever they gave for. And then I've seen people who've given, and then, yeah, life went downhill. And the thing with me and these exposures, I know I come with a lot of questions for the victims, because it may seem like I'm victim shaming, but the thing is, we also have to ask questions. To get what I mean? Like, what was your point of view? Where was your mind at? Why didn't you say no? Or, but I get it. Sometimes, as women, we can get so, like, we can possibly be lured by the attractiveness, because these men of God have learned how to use their materialism to get into women's heads. So you end up just trusting them, going with them anywhere and everywhere. All because it, under the name church, under the name pastor prophet, under the name, well, he has a wife. He won't really do anything like that. Or, but oh, I'm a single woman, maybe he finds me attractive. They start making you feel some type of way, like they got you dressing up, going for dinners. They get in your brain. Do you get me? My part of the exposure is that the thing is, for me, I've declined a lot of things. Do you get me? I've declined a lot of stuff, because I've kind of grown up in the church, but I've also grown up with the dad. And I've also grown up in seeing how men can be. Do you get what I mean? I'm not saying maybe the women involved didn't have a dad. Possibly they did. Do you get what I mean? But because of what I've experienced in my personal life, it's just certain things I've just learned to decline, because You get me? Is it every just because a man is bad their eyelids at you, must we just say yes? Do you get me? I'm just that type of person. I don't want to end up in the next couple of years, as much as people will say they support victims, yeah, but then they end up knowing your life story. And I don't want my life story to just be, oh, well, she. And I'm not victim shaming in a sense, but because of how I like my privacy, I don't necessarily want to be known or have somebody's name attached to me, like, oh, this is what she went through. I don't want that to be the conversation that other people are just having about me. Do you get what I mean? I don't just want to be hearing, oh, sorry, babes, how are you? How are you coping after what you went through with? And then there's just questions, and then you have to relive that again and again. No. So I feel bad for the girl because, yeah, I do feel bad for her. But I'm just like, what were the men doing? When EJ picked up the call, did he not ask, oh, who took my place? Like, oh, hi. I hope the guys are looking after. Because these men are African men. African men, really, they know how to look after women. And Zimbabwean men, yes. But especially Nigerian men, they would ask those questions. If Pangana said, oh, you're my second wife, the other men would have been asking, our second wife, They make it very loud and clear. If they didn't make it loud and clear, it's kind of obvious that the motive was a bit ish. Because African men, whether they're in Dubai, whether they've taken you to Caracas, wherever, the other men will back you up and be like, our second wife. I hope they're looking after you. I hope they're looking after you. And where have they taken you? Has he taken you to the beach? I hope you'll come all right before. But the fact that it was all hidden, it seemed a bit hidden. She was even surprised that there were mandem there. Mm, mm. Beforehand, they would have let you know, like, are you comfortable? Do you get what I mean? Are you comfortable? If you want us to bring another girl, he so that you're comfortable, bring your friend, or let us. I mean, not that females can't set you up, but do you get me? I'm on a tangent. So the questions I have for the girl is like, what were you thinking? And I don't mean like in a terrible way. I'm like, what was going through your mind when you saw the mandem in your hotel room? When he said you're his second wife, yes, you were like, okay, he's got wife and kids. Hmm. Eh. And then the thing is, if he had gotten you pregnant, he would have just left you with the baby. You get me? Because those men are brutal. Those men are brutal. Yes, men. That's why I say sometimes as women, you really have to also have a bit of brutality in you. Do you get what I mean? That's why I rate Lovey's ex that just went back and said, I want my money back. Because at the end of the day, yeah, get your money back and vamoose and find better for yourself. Because, yeah, otherwise they'll chop you. They'll chop you. You see finish. And then your name will be dragged in them churches like a dirty rag. No. Mm-mm. Mm. Yeah, so I'm like, did EJ not question like, I mean, he could just step back and uh, that's the thing with EJ, yeah. EJ could just step back and be like, you know what, I have my family. And sometimes when you have kids here, when you have your family that you care about, you tend to be quite sensitive about certain things. Literally, like your body just like shuts down because you'll rather just focus on the main important things in your life. Not like she wasn't important, but it's like, so I can kind of see it from that perspective because I've been like that as a mom. If people are involved in certain things that just rub me the wrong way, I'm just like, keep yourself in your mess because I don't want to be involved and tarnish my name. Because when stuff like that comes online, it's your name on the line. So I can see it from that perspective. But then from another perspective, I'm like, didn't he ask questions like, passion, what other woman have you brought again? Or, did, you know? Or just make the girl feel comfortable. Like, behave yourselves while you're there. But I just questioned it. The whole him, Pangana is a bit high. I'm sitting on the highest toilet in the world, calling his wife. I'm sitting on the tallest toilet. I'm like busy doing baptism in boxers, and what's in his pants is a whole anaconda. But are those things that we should be talking about prophets? That prophet has a big anaconda. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. Hmm? Must you advert? Must you advertise anyway? Hmm? Could you not find some speeders? But then I saw one big girl in a bikini. Her boob was almost falling out of the bra during those baptisms. Mm, Fly. Ah, honestly, when I saw them baptized, I said, I said nothing good can come from this trip because I remember when they were advertising that trip. I said nothing good can come out of this trip because what? Ah, ah, where's that his friend, the white one? It is I. Where is he? Hmm? You wouldn't see him in the swimming pool doing all that. But where do I start my exposure? The thing is, yeah, do you know what? I tried to be serious and say I'm gonna tell my story. Grant me the day where I'll come and expose these. If we now come and call you fake, you will come and complain the next day. Oh no, 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 they're calling me fake. No, 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 no. All the prophecies you said, have any come to pass? The only well, there's a few prophecies that have come to pass, but the only major prophecy that came to pass was Passion Java telling me to go and view one house. Went to view the house now. The time when I'm telling him, okay, I viewed the house, we're trying to call you because he was in Italy. Me, I'm thinking, okay, since you're in Italy, you'll pass by the UK and, sort it all out. The guy was online. We're trying to call him. The estate agents was trying to call him. Busy online posting tickets. I said, nah, 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 nah. You took the absolute piss. You took the absolute piss. Forgive my language, but a whole how many months? Busy telling me, okay, this is what we'll do with the house. We wanted you to get this number because the December 2024, they said okay, because I said there was a man that I'd been dating and he said he was going to get me an apartment, but because of something he did, I refused. So then later on down the line, I was like, okay, can you prophesy what's gonna happen with him? Is he gonna come back? Because I deleted that man's numbers, but he always has my number. You get my he has my number at the back of his head. So I was like, will he ever come back and get me that apartment? So then Lovey was like, oh, what about a house? Me, I was like, what, a house? I was like, a house? What would I want a house for? Because it's just me and my two kids. Do you get what I mean? I'm not trying to have my baby that's there because they have their own places where they live. Like, I didn't want anything big like that. And then Lovey went on his tangents about, in my father's house, they have mansions. So then, obviously, there was a place where I used to live in this area, yeah. They'd built some new houses, and they were like 3-story mansions. So then he was like, okay, go and view it. But then it was number 6. Went to view it. I was like, I'm ready. Let me get this one. A few weeks down the line, he was like, oh no, we don't want number 6 because number 6 is a devilish number. Came online. Thank you for removing me from this devilish number. So the place got sold in the same week. I was vexed. I was like, but that house is so nice. But then the guy who built it, there was one left, and there was number 7. Lovey went on, started preaching about how the number 7 is the number of perfection. I said, oh. So that's when Passion came now and prophesied, okay, go and view it, tell this to the estate agent, this and this. I went to view it. The house was so beautiful. If you saw on my TikToks and stuff, the house was nice. And it's around everything, and I've lived in the area before, so it wasn't a big deal to me. Got to meet the guy who built the area. Had the same birthday. No, everything was seeming perfect and the funny thing is, yeah, he prophesied just before my birthday, and it was like, there's something he said. It's like, I wonder, birthday. So imagine I went to see this house again on my birthday. And then the house manager was like, oh, it's my birthday too. And then we gave each other a big hug. The way he was like holding my kids' hands to go up the stairs. Complimenting my kids. It was like, they're so well behaved. I was ready to take that place. And the thing is, that house, I'd seen it before on YouTube a few years back. Because there's this girl I watch from London who tours houses. And I'd seen it before, and I'd actually refused the house. I was like, nah. When she toured it, she said Essex. Didn't know it was my area. And I refused. I was like, nah, why would I want such a house? But seeing it in person, nah. Seeing it in person, I was in love. Got to meet the neighbors. The neighbors were so lovely. Yeah, I had planned out. I was like, wow, this is wow, And then when he now posted, I'm in Italy, I was like, okay, I'm sure when he's in Italy, he'll just sort out the papers because they'd given us 10 weeks to sort out the papers. I was like, okay, I'm sure he'll pop round. They were giving me interior ideas also. But we want this in our house. We want that in our house. The moment when I'm telling them about the papers, he ignored all my messages. The WhatsApps went and posted Tsikizi. And if you know what Tsikizi are, yeah. I said, nah. You deserve more than a slap. You deserve more than a slap for that comment. I just said, anyway. The place, they held it for months. Because the funny thing is, yeah, the lady who'd actually bought it, she didn't have enough money, so she was ready to retract her contract. So I was like, you know what? Let her retract and let me take the place, innit? I was like, God is good, God is good. To the point where I was just like, you know what, God, fine, just let the place go. The week after I said just let the place go, the place went sold. After how many months? Because you get me? Why would I still keep waiting for them to purchase the place, innit? I'll just let it go. Oh yeah, because they were like, oh, there's certain people you shouldn't allow in your house. But you get what I mean? After bonding with the whole was the architect, he was ready to take me for a drink down to the pub to celebrate. I was like, imagine him popping around, happy birthday, bring, how you liking living in the house. How will I do that now? How will I do that now? Yeah. And then the other part of the exposure, when the whole thing about Lovi not wanting to marry Maggie, and I was like, and then the funny thing is, they got married a day before my birthday, and then he was saying that I'm the reason he chose that day. I just laughed. I was like, right. And those things can make you feel some type of way as a woman, yeah. I think I said, yeah, the other exposure for that is on my TikTok. I'm not gonna repeat what he said. When I finish, because this is just the start. And the thing is, I've deleted all the messages because it's been me that's been replying through text and thing. But I'm sure a few people, there's people that are, there's one person that's on his, because I posted a comment on Revelation Church by mistake, but because I thought it was his personal account, and then the person liked it because I was really popping off at the mouth like, don't do that. Don't waste my time. And then one lady liked it. I was like, oops. But I'm like, if you didn't want to get married to Maggie, yeah, why do, is it everything that your spiritual father says that you have to do? But because they're so entangled in this their relationships with their spiritual fathers that they just go and do, okay,